On another side, I'm going to come with exposing what's going to happen this year to everybody so that you will be prepared. This year is going to be one that will take a lot of people by surprise. A disclaimer for everybody who is alive doing this business: your belief in this business will be tested. This year, more people will be scammed than ever before in the history of our system. More people, if you thought that MMM was a scam, you will see the greatest scams that will happen this year, and it will come in chunks. Now, this is for me to prepare your mind, so when it begins to happen, you know. Some of you came to my offices, some of you came to my office, and we had interaction. We had 4 minutes, what I would say, deliverance, making you observe and know who you are. And I mentioned one thing, right? Exactly what I just said now, that this year, more people will be scammed. And it will be very easy for that scam to happen. Now, I said that it's already started happening. Some people are falling victims already as I speak. I didn't even have the idea that it will start immediately, but it has already started. And I explained why. The reason is simply because we've entered a space where there is technology has taken over. We're on the precipice of transitioning into the artificial intelligence revolution. Now, because of that, there's a far-reaching explosion on technology, expansion of technology. And because of that, you're finding tools like the cryptocurrencies, the blockchains, the Forex, and then the NFTs and the multiverse. And you hear these things, is more confusing than clear. NFTs, non-fungible tokens. They say you can buy NFTs and sell for and become a millionaire overnight. Buy an NFT of a monkey that's been drawn electronically for maybe $65, and then 3 months later it's going for $1 million. All right, people are making money with NFTs, but the thing is that you don't understand what it is. Most people don't understand what it is. It's a bit technical. You're hearing about multiverse. You're hearing about even the cryptocurrency. Most people don't understand it, right? Now, because of the prevailing nature of the dynamics of technology in this dispensation, people would legitimately be making money, but then you would have more people who are dubious, who want to get rich quick, and they've been looking for and waiting for this opportunity to come by. They will be the ones who would go and study how these things work and begin to dupe people of their monies. Now, let me give you an instance. You see someone saying he's making money from cryptocurrency. There are good cryptocurrencies that you can trade on. But my take on cryptocurrency and investment: cryptocurrency is an investment. It's not a business. And you all know the mindset I have over investments. Don't let anybody deceive you. You are not prepared for investments if you don't have a minimum of 50 million naira to throw away in investment. Between some would argue, say 20 to 50 million. If you don't have that, you are not yet qualified for investment. No matter what anybody tells me, you see, it's proven. You can't, what you need, follow the 4 quadrants: employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor. It follows in that order. become a business owner first, have a system that brings money to you in the excess, and then channel it to the excess profits to investments. Now, I said this and I said this and I said it to somebody, and he was like, let me go and do investments. I want to do investment. And I'm like, you're not qualified. You are simply not qualified. And why are you thinking of investment in the first place? The reason you are thinking of investment, even though you are broke, is because you are seeking for shortcuts. Because investments, you don't need to put yourself in there. You just need to put your money, right? But you don't have the money. So why don't you increase yourself, your persona, who you are, and then begin to build a business system that pays you so that the profits you put in investment. After saying that, the person agreed. And guess what? This person went and put money in, borrowed money to invest. Can you imagine that? Borrowed money to invest. And sometimes it is these words that mislead people. When you say borrow money to invest, don't borrow money to eat. No, borrow money to invest in businesses, run businesses, not borrow money to invest. Why can't you borrow money to invest? Let me shock you. Investments are volatile. Do you know that First Bank stock is one of the highest performing stocks in the Nigerian Stock Exchange? First Bank, one of the highest performing stocks. Guys, listen to me. But First Bank cannot borrow money to its staff to invest in First Bank stock. You didn't hear that. First Bank will not borrow its staff. In fact, First Bank will not even borrow you money to invest in their stock. Oh, you don't hear that? Yet they have the most powerful performing stocks in the Nigerian stock market. Their portfolio is doing well. But why wouldn't they give you money, borrow you money to invest in their stock? We have to use this year. If you've never been using this before, this is the time to wake up. This person borrowed money, went to do investment. Now the investment crashed. They are now coming, the people he borrowed money are now coming for him, and they want to incarcerate him. Only for him to come and say, please, can you give me this money to just clear these people? You're on my neck, please, I will pay back. I say, you must be silly. The same thing I told you not to do, and you still had the guts to call me to, no, now you're a man, deal with that yourself. In fact, I have the money, but I'm going to give it to you. So now, if you have ears, listen to me. It has happened to him. I spoke to him and he was adamant and it happened to him, no problem. Now, to you that I'm speaking to now, another thing that will happen to you this year is going to be madness. Some of you, not everybody, maybe a few of you who don't listen or who don't take principles seriously, you're going to lose money this year. I'm not talking to everybody, I'm talking to those who don't listen. You're going to lose a lot of money this year because of scam. Now, how will it come? It's going to come through IT, cryptocurrencies, Forex, Metaverse, and NFT. People are going to package some dangerous things and they will show you, I'm making money, I'm making I just made $200,000, blah, 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 and you see it. And the reason you listen to them is because of what I'm about to teach us today. So gather yourself. This meeting is going to last about an hour, 30 minutes. So don't run anywhere. I'm going to enter into it because I'm going to show you why people fail. Why people, you listen to me and you still go and do what you want to do. I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to train everybody on this today, and you will stop failing in your life forever. Till the day this world is over, you stop failing. In fact, you can never fail again. What I'm trying to paint the picture why it is easy for you to be scammed this year. People are going to brandish investment opportunities to you that will be complicated. You can't understand them because you're not IT savvy. And then all you are seeing is that, oh, people are making money in it. You put your money and they can swindle you easily, very, very easily. whether it's cryptocurrency, whether it's NFT, whatever you may call it, it will be very easy. And what will push you is because you have refused to pay attention to what God, the gold mine that God has given to you. Now, let me shock you. It has started already. That some of you attended masterclass on Saturday, and you may have heard me talk about this person. I'm going to bring up a conversation with him. So I went further to ask him why he decided to go into he's in this business. Guys, watch this. I want to help you guys understand what I'm saying. What I've been telling people is happening already. So it's not, I was thinking it would take some time, maybe by March, April, but it's happening. Look at this. This person has been in this business. He hasn't recorded any maximum success. And he kept on saying that this business, he doesn't have money to be making calls and transportation. So he wants to do something else. And I told him, look, the money you're looking for is in this business. Focus on it and build it. And I was willing to help him, but I wanted to see if he's worthy of my help. Only for him to send me a message, okay, thank you very much for what you've done for me, but I'll move to another company. Just in case the person is here, I'm not mentioning the person's name, all right? But then I've still allowed him to, be part of what we're doing until I have a one-on-one meeting with him. And if he's bent on leaving for another company, then he will stop attending our meetings. All right, so I asked him what company did he go to. Lo and behold, a Bitcoin company, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. And I'm like, okay, so what does the company manufacture? He said, oh, they trade on Bitcoin. Oh my goodness. Is it from before now they were using Ethereum? So the products of exchange, there was the 20, blah, 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 pay you in Bitcoin, Bitcoin USD, and all that. Now, I started asking him some technical questions that he couldn't answer. So I knew that he has already fallen victim already, all right? And it's faster way to accumulate cryptocurrency. Oh, Lord have mercy. Then I asked him a little bit more question. He said, and I asked him, there's a particular question I asked him. So you can start with $20, all right? You can start with $20. So I know, so you can start with $20, right? Okay. So what makes you feel that this will work? He said that the person that introduced him to the business has made $200,000 in 2 years. $200,000 in 2 years. So I said, how did he make $200,000 in 2 years? Since you told me that the way to make money is through referral, 100% is referral. So I'm not thinking, so 100% referral. So if you start with, he said, if you start with $20, they will give you Bitcoin worth $20, right? And that is what he means by 100% referral. It didn't say make sense to me. 100% referral should be that if you connect somebody, you get a referral. So now I asked him, so does that mean if you connect someone and the person starts with $20, then you get $20 as referral? If the person starts with $20, you get $20 as referral, but then it will be in Bitcoin? He said yes. Now, number one, that one is that's a component of a Ponzi scheme. Somebody is starting with $20. You told the person, oh, you start with $20, and the company is paying you $20. I use a Ponzi scheme, and yet he's not seeing it already. Now, and I said, okay, fine. If that's the case, so how come this guy made $200,000 in 2 years? All right. And he told me, oh my goodness. He said, hard work of 2 years. I said, what do you mean by hard work? He said, traveling from state to state for business meetings, showing people the business opportunity. Guys, listen to me. Now, watch this. And I asked him, because the reason you gave me was that you, for slowing down in this business, is that you didn't have money to be buying internet for Zoom meetings. You didn't have money for all of these things and making calls and stuff. So I asked him a question. So if the way to make money in the business is by traveling from state to state, how can you then survive in that business? Where will you get money to pay, to be traveling, transportation, accommodation, tools, feeding, also sending money to your home, sending school fees, rent money, and stuff like that. And he said, I'm starting with family and friends and people around me for now. I start going to state when capital grows. But guess what? He has not traveled from state to state in this business. He has not, listen to me, he has not traveled from state to state in this business. But he wants to travel state to state in that business. Why? I'm going to share the why with you. All right. I've seen the problem is not the business that people do. The problem is that they don't understand one thing. I'm going to share that with you this morning quickly. And for those of you who are also thinking that you've been failing, you're not getting results, you're going to get the answer this morning. This is the secret success code that will make sure you will never fail in your life again. So it's not about running to other companies. I told you guys this will happen, it's happening already. Now, today's meeting, please write down as much as you can. Somebody was saying you won't listen, they'll give me the video. You know how I do. The video may not come out on time because of a lot of things, but then please pay attention. Now I'm going straight into this power of imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, stimulating progress, giving birth to evolution. This was what was said by Albert Einstein. And the first time I read this, it got me thinking, why would this man say that imagination is more important than knowledge? And I didn't understand it until I went deeper and I started reading books, and it started making sense to me. Imagination is more important than knowledge. So I had to demarcate what's the difference between imagination and knowledge. Now, imagination is the fact of forming new ideas or in images and concepts that are not present to our senses. So imagination doesn't work with our current, what we know already. It enters into the sixth sense, the realm of what is not seen. And that is where creation happens. Knowledge is the facts. Is already here. Information, skills acquired by persons through experience or education. All right. But there's a place for imagination and there's a place for knowledge. That was what I eventually understood. Now, stay with me because I'm going to build this up. Remember I said, after this training, you will never fail in your life. Let me say it again. After this training, you become impenetrable to failure. You just can't fail. So pay attention, please. Now, after this training, one or two of you will not internalize it. The problem is not that the training did not deliver. The problem is that you failed to internalize what I'm about to teach you today. This is what has been working for some of you and you didn't even know it. Remember, whether you know that 2 + 2 is 4, consciously or unconsciously, if you add 2 + 2 unconsciously, you get 4. It doesn't matter. These information I'm about to show you today, whether you know them as a principle of fact or not, if you apply them knowingly or unknowingly, it will work for you. But it's better we operate based on knowledge. Now, I'm about to share the knowledge of imagination to you. What is imagination and what is knowledge? Well, it starts from imagination first. Imagination is vision, knowledge is execution. Now, imagination leads to creation. Only God can create, right? Now, if I ask you, how many of you were created by God? You raise your hands. How many of you were created by the devil? You will not raise your hands. Now, meaning that you believe that God created you, right? So if imagination leads to creation, and only God can create, and imagination is the source, of creation. In the beginning, God said, let there be light. In the midst of darkness and chaos, he said, through imagination, He wanted there to be light. There has never been light before, but it's the imagination that brought it into existence in him first, and then he spoke it out. He started with the imagination and then he spoke it out. Now that became the law of first principle. It means that is how God creates. He speaks into being. If he sees it, he speaks it into being, it happens. Jesus on the Lazarus tomb, you guys know this. He went to Lazarus' tomb. This guy had died for days, and everybody was, accusing Jesus for not coming on time. And when he got there, he prayed to God and said, I know you always answer me. I thank you, Father. And then he now turned to the tomb and he said, Lazarus, come forth. And Lazarus came forth. Guys, listen to me. He didn't think Lazarus come forth. He said, Lazarus, come forth. He had already prayed in his mind. Through his imagination, he wants this man to come forth, and then he spoke it. So there's a trajectory. Through imagination, then words are spoken, and it comes to pass. Stay with me now. But the question now is, if only God can create, so this imagination is not for us, because imagination leads to creation, and only God can create. Therefore, imagination is not for us. So let us solve that problem. Why do men fail? Now, I've established the fact that there's the imagination and there's knowledge. Imagination leads to vision, right? So we've been talking about vision. So that means something is getting closer. It's telling on you. It's saying something. So is it possible that I'm God? Okay, look at this. Men fail because they lack understanding of who they are. Some of you are feeling that maybe I am the child of God. And if I am a child of God, it means I have God's DNA in me. If I have God's DNA in me, it means that if God can create, therefore I can create. Aha. Now look at this. Who are you? So let's solve that problem once and for all. Who are you truly? Are you of God or are you of the devil? This is where it ends. If you miss this part, guys, every other thing is useless. This is the part that most people don't understand, and they're walking through life begging and begging and begging in desperation, in confusion, because they don't understand this. Who are you? So let's go back to basics. Let's go back to creation, to fundamentals. Let's start with the instance I normally use. If you have a baby, the baby looks like you. Some of you have babies here, your babies look like you. Now, why? Because your baby has your DNA, right? Now, will your baby look like me? No, your baby can't look like me because your baby doesn't have my DNA, right? If your baby looks like me, then you have to call your wife and say, sweetheart, say that, what's happening here? How come this baby looks like Abba 74, right? Because there's a DNA in me that runs through my baby, and that's why my baby looks like me. Now let's go a little bit further. If my baby looks like me because my baby possesses my DNA, how do you explain this? All the mannerisms of all babies are the same. Have you noticed it? This will make more sense to those who have, it will resonate more with those who have babies. Now, if you don't, go to the internet on babies, people that post their babies on internet, you find a resemblance to the mannerisms of these babies. The way they attempt to work is the way my babies attempt to work. The way your baby attempts to work is the same. The way they try to speak, mama, 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 my babies try to speak like that. That's the way your babies try to speak. The way the babies in Japan, Australia try to speak, they are the same. The way they grab the pacifier. I was sharing at the retreat how my babies, I didn't teach them how to collect the pacifier and put in their mouth. Pacifiers, those stuff you put in baby's mouth to, make them not to cry or, just to pacify them. On Instagram, at some point when my babies were like 2 months, 3 months, I could see babies of 6, 8 months grabbing pacifiers and putting in their mouth. I'm like, wow, just 8 months. Who taught them that their parents must be really, really, really intelligent to teach these babies how to put pacifiers in their mouth. I mean, babies are helpless. How on earth did their parents teach the baby to put pacifier in his mouth. I just couldn't. I found it so fascinating, right? And I said, this is either the parents were intelligent or this baby is special. That's what I said. Please stay with me now. I want you to stay with me. It's very important. I said this baby is special. If the parents didn't do this, then this baby is special. Guys, lo and behold, my babies just turned 8 months old. 2 of them, 2 boys. They can put pacifiers in their mouth. I never called them and say, hey, baby, look how to, let me teach you how to put pacifier. You see pacifier, mouth? Daddy, mouth, pacifier, put. Okay, try it, put pacifier, mouth. I didn't do that. But they grab pacifiers and put in their mouth. Okay, so that means it wasn't their parent. Their parents weren't intelligent. That means it wasn't me. So it could either be one or two. And the second is the babies were special, right? So that means my babies are special, right? Uh-oh, hold on a second. How come all babies have the mannerism? No, think about it now. So the mystery is being demystified. How come my babies are special, your babies are special, their babies are special? Whose DNA do they carry? God's DNA. Period. End of story. All babies have God's DNA. You were once a baby. I was once a baby. What does that tell me? It tells me that I carry God's DNA. The only challenge was that our confused parents, broke parents, uninformed parents started teaching us how to be uninformed, how to be broke, how to be confused, how to be fearful, and it blocked the God's DNA in us. So we no longer imagine as gods. We no longer think as gods. Our mannerisms started shifting to the primary or secondary DNA we have with our parents. Meanwhile, our primary primordial DNA is of God, the Creator. Now, this may not be easy for you to swallow because of what you're going through. It may not be easy, it may not be sweet, but yet I'm telling you, you're God. Yes, you are. The only thing is that the God DNA in us, for some of us, has been masked by years and years of exposure to the world system where there is fear, inconsistency, and of course our parents who didn't know better, who were broke, and they were teaching us all these mannerisms that does not tally with God's DNA. It starts and ends with who you are. I hear people say, no, you have to be conscious, you have to be hardworking, you have to do. Before those ones happen, you have to be consistent, you have to be showing up, you have to focus until you succeed. Before all those ones happen, it starts with who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, you can't be consistent, you can't be focused, you can't be imaginative, you can't create. And I tell you, oh, we're creators. In what order? How are you a creator? In what order? If you don't know in what order you're a creator, you can't create anything. You have to first go back to your DNA. And that is amazing. We all possess God's DNA. It's absolutely amazing. There's nothing that blew my mind when I understood this. In fact, do you know, I understood this not in depth, but there was always something in me telling me that I'm more. Guys, another way to know that God's DNA operates in you is even though that primary DNA has been masked and covered with all our bad experiences and uninformed experiences, every now and then it speaks. Haven't you realized that every now and then, sometimes you tell yourself that I'm more than this. There's this discomfort inside you that suggests that you're playing too small. It doesn't happen all the time, but every now and then it happens. What do you think that is? It's the God DNA speaking in you. Let me also shock you. Do you know, why do you think that you see somebody who is poor? He doesn't have money. It's not like he's not all that. And he's not having an argument with somebody, and the person kind of insults him and stuff. And then he opens his mouth and says, do you know who I am? Don't talk to me like that. Do you know who I am? Hold on a second, you broke. Why are you using that word, do you know who I am? Guys, I found out. How on earth can this guy who has nothing in his bank account, he's just surviving, but because in the midst of a challenge, he projects a statement, do you know who I am? It is the God DNA speaking. It's not pride. There's a discomfort in man when he fails to realize who he is, that will continuously keep popping out in the series of his life until death. Some people don't discover who they are until they die. It's already too late. Yes, guys, think about it. The only thing that will make a man speak such words, do you know who I am, is because there's some greatness in him. He can't, the only way he can express it is by saying, do you know who I am? It's not the money he has or doesn't have. It's not the education he has or doesn't have. It's some discomforting stifling of a powerful DNA inside of him that he's trying to give expression to. And the only way he can give expression to that is, do you know who I am? Now listen. This is deeper than you probably might think. Let's express this a little bit further. You see, in Psalm 82 verse 6, it says, I said, you are gods. You are all sons of the Most High. Are you listening to that? You are gods. We all carry God's DNA. But the problem is that, but you will die like mere mortals. You will fall like every other ruler because you don't possess the understanding that you are God. And that is why you will die like mere men. Go and check it out. Psalm 82 verse 7. Read the whole chapter. You understand what I'm saying? The reason some of our parents died broke because they are fulfilling the scripture. They did not understand the capacity they had as gods, and they died as mere men. You will not die because today you understand and begin to operate in the dimension of who you are. And anybody, let me say this, if you're close to me and you refuse to tune into that dimension of the God nature in you, I will run away from you. You can't be close to me because this year we're going to do exploits. See, truly in Mark 11:23, I tell you, if anyone says to this mountain, go, throw yourself into the sea, and does not doubt in their heart, but believes that what they say will happen, it will be done for them. Let me give you a synopsis on this verse. Look, Jesus was moving with his disciples. Sorry, if you're Muslim here, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to give you some tutorials on the Bible, okay? Free of charge. Like Ambassador Mike will say, when is your turn? One day I'll come to your area and you also give me a tutorial on the Quran, right? I want to start reading the Quran again so that I get more insights on that. But what drives me is the Bible for now, all right? But then, get some knowledge on this. Jesus was moving with his disciples and he was hungry and he saw a fig tree and there was no fruit there. And he was hungry. I mean, how can you not have fruit? And he cursed the fig tree that it will not produce again, and that fig tree withered. They left and came back, and the disciples were like, Master, that fig tree you cursed has withered. Jesus' reply was, truly I tell you, if anyone says to this mountain, go, throw yourself into the sea, and does not doubt, keyword, doubt in their heart, but believes that what they say will happen, it will be done for them. Now, let me bring this to clarity. Some of you will say, okay, yes, Jesus was talking to Christians. They were Christians. So you can only do this if you're a Christian. Nehi. Christians, the word Christians came when Christ died. You'd have to be a Christian in the order of the death of Christ. Am I communicating? Jesus was not dead at the time. They were followers of Christ. They were not Christians at the time. Oh, yes. They were still following him. They were still men who were following him, and he was teaching them some principles. So they were not in the order of both you and I are now, that, okay, Christ have died for us, Abi, so we can now do wonders. Get this right. You don't do wonders because Christ died for you. You do wonders because you're already a child of God and you have God's DNA in you and you are God. Stay with me. He was referring to them in their primordial state, that you as you are, look at it, truly I tell you, if anyone, he didn't say if you people who follow me. In other words, if anyone, whether you're a Christian now, no, whether you're a Muslim now, no, whether you are an atheist, if anyone, whether you are an atheist, believing, as far as you believe in your heart and don't have doubt, because that is the order of God. In the beginning, he said, let there be light. There was no doubt in God's heart. And he believed that what he said would happen. It happened. There was light. Jesus said, Lazarus, come forth. There was no doubt in his heart. He believed that what he said would happen. It happened. He didn't have any doubt. What if he said this and it doesn't come out? Am I communicating, guys? Who are you? Who are you? You see, I'm going to help you move in the direction. How do you operate in your God nature? Because we have to dissect this. Number one, eliminate fear. Let me brood on this a little bit. You see, how do you eliminate fear? Fear is the composite factor that the devil uses. The devil doesn't have any other power other than fear. He puts you into fear, reduces your vibration, puts you in a low-level energy, and he can control you, use you, demolish you, squeeze you, kill you, destroy you. Fear is a playground of the devil. How to eliminate fear is faith. Yes. In case you're wondering, in case you have been struggling with fear, faith. In fact, that's the first way to eliminate fear. Second way is to seek understanding in where you have fear disappears. First of all, faith. Then second of all, faith is the ability to call things and believe in things that do not exist as though they exist. That's faith. So you're operating higher than fear. Fear operates where there's ignorance, actually. Let me give you an instance. Some of you were afraid before you started driving, but today you drive. Why don't you have fear driving? I mean, before you started driving, you were scared of driving, right? The fear was too much. Fear of having accidents, fear of other cars hitting you, fear of, veering off and having one ridiculous hitting somebody. But now today, you don't now, so for some of you who drive, if not, no, everybody that drives, you don't have fear of driving again. Do you know why? Because you sought knowledge in the area that you had fear. You understood, got knowledge on how to drive the car, the fear left. Some of you have fear of drowning in water because you don't have knowledge to swim. The day you seek knowledge and get the knowledge on how to swim, fear of drowning and swimming disappears. So anywhere you have fear, seek knowledge in that area. Some of you have fear of failing in this business. If you seek knowledge on how to succeed in this business and how to do this business, the fear of failing in this business disappears. Some of you have not fear of talking to women. For some of you younger guys, you're afraid of talking to her. Go and down, thank God for the internet and the new economy we are in. Google on how to communicate and how to talk to a lady. Once you discover and get some skills and trainings on how to speak to ladies, whether guys or ladies, that fear goes. You can easily speak, you know what to say. That is the antidote. Knowledge is actually the antidote of fear. But faith is a higher one. Faith will not even put you in a place where you are fearful at all. So eliminate fear if you want to operate in your God nature. Number two, eliminate doubt. You must not have any doubt in you. And number three, use your imagination. Because now there's no fear in you, there's no doubt. Even if fear comes and you still don't have no fear, faith operates when there's no knowledge. All right? If you have fear and you still don't have knowledge, you don't possess the knowledge on how to deal with it, replace that fear with faith. and call in that DNA nature, call it forth. And that fear goes. Doubt, don't even have any iota of doubt. Doubt, you have control over whether you're going to doubt something or not. You have control over that, all right? So simply believe. Don't have any doubt whatsoever. And then use your imagination. Then you begin to walk in the God nature. Use your imagination. Think about what you want. Think about, that's why imagination, I said, is vision. Write it down. Vision is not what is apparent, what you see. Don't write your vision down based on what is happening around you. You don't have money, and you cannot write. If you're going to operate by vision, it has to be by imagination. Begin to imagine the things that you want. Begin to imagine them. And if you imagine them long enough and you believe and you don't doubt, and you begin to speak it, it must happen. 3 things. Let me prove it to you. See, if you think your case is so bad, let's watch this video and see somebody's case who is worse than yours, and yet the person grew up. And I want you to, there's something I want you to pick out from the video I'm about to play now. Well, okay, no, not this particular video, but let's watch this video first.
You've probably already seen it. It was...
Hold on a second. Hold on. Something is not right here. Supposed to have played something. There are 2 videos I'm going to play for you guys. All right, 2 videos. So this is the first video.
Arms or legs, 30-year-old Nick Vujicic has become a symbol of triumph against all odds. His inspiring YouTube videos have been watched over 100 million times.
It's a lie to think that you're not good enough. It's a lie to think that you're not worth anything.
But the road to self-acceptance was excruciating for Nick. For years, he was harassed and tormented at school. When he was 10, Nick attempted suicide. After years of feeling worthless and alone, Nick's awakening came while reading an article about a disabled man who refused to let physical limitations hold him back. In that moment, Nick says he discovered the power to take control of his life, and he has. Today, Nick surfs, he snorkels, he golfs, and plays soccer. He's traveled to 44 countries with his message of hope.
Even the worst part of your life can come together for the good.
And less than a year ago, Nick married the love of his life and danced at their wedding. That you were able to do that.
Oprah, I know that you love to think out of the box and have things outside of the box in your show.
Yeah.
And I know that you love illustration. So if I may illustrate in about 180 seconds, can I do something a little crazy, but it'll be powerful? Is that cool? You got a camera behind me, right?
Yeah.
I gotta show you. Come. This step right here, is there enough light here?
Okay.
The chemistry. I was born without arms and legs. The chemistry I could not change. In my life, I know that God didn't give me this pain, but what the enemy tried to use for bad, he turned into good. Yeah. Man, the connections. I want to tell Porsche, look, I'm a guy, I love cars, okay? And I love Porsches more than Ferraris, okay? and I want everyone to know that we are wonderfully and fearfully made. And until you can actually understand that we are all wonderfully and fearfully made from God, I want you to know that you will always be trapped and chained and you will be stopped. But when you have the incredible power of faith in action, nothing holds you back. And you're beautiful just the way that you are. No worries. For me, I felt the connection. For me in my life, I'm thinking, man, I'm not gonna get married. I can't even hold my wife's hand. What connection am I gonna have? But you know what? All things come together for the good for those who love him. Man, this is a little bit high. I'm gonna break my arm, man. This is pretty crazy. All right.
I'm gonna break my arm.
Circumstances. Being born without arms and legs, man, it's all about choice. You asked me what it was. I had parents who were my heroes. They always said, you can either be angry for what you don't have or be thankful for what you do have. Do your best and God will do the rest. Then consciousness, because I gave my life to Lord Jesus Christ and the renewing of my mind, wow, I knew that I could be unstoppable.
Hmm. Now, did you hear that? Whose case is worse than this man? No, tell me. If your case is worse than this man, that means you're telling me that you don't have arms, legs, and a mouth to speak. That's the only time your case will be worse than his. Otherwise, shh and listen. When I saw this video and I said, how on earth can a man who doesn't have arms and legs would have traveled to how many countries, 40-something countries, and me with 2 arms and legs, I'm giving excuses, God punished that devil. Then I didn't understand the power that I had in me. What Nick operates on is purely the power of God's DNA in him. Nick is a God, you are a God, I am a God on earth, created by God Almighty of the universe. So we're gods. Now, some of you it might be too heavy for you to say I'm a God, because in your mind, you're saying I'm equating myself to God. No, a lion gives birth to a lion. That baby lion is still a lion. It doesn't make it less of a lion. God created you, therefore you're a God. It doesn't make you less of a God. But God is almighty. You and I are gods on earth. And the reason why we fail is because we fail to... Guys, will you agree with me that there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are not succeeding and they have arms and legs? Think about it for a second. Let me give you that time. They have arms and legs, guys. Let me play another video. This one is a bit longer. It's 9 minutes.
Seen it. It was trending. It's one of those videos that everybody talks about.
It's 9 minutes, but I'm going to play it for you. Stay with me because today is liberation time. If you're not liberated from this at this point, this year will be useless for you. So have it at the back of your head. What brought Nick out is not that he doesn't have arms or no. He almost committed suicide. That young man you're looking at today has 3 babies. He has a model wife, a wife who's a model. Go and search his name on internet. It's not what you see on the outside, is what we don't see that is on the inside that makes us different from the goats and the dogs and the lions. If you're still doubting it, I want you to watch this. This might make you cry. But after crying, wipe your eyes and know that you're worth more than what you're going through. Now watch this.
You've probably already seen it. It was trending. It's one of those videos that everybody talks about.
All eyes are on this woman.
I don't want to cry right now.
You lost your hearing?
When I was 18 years old.
Wow, a deaf singer.
That must be rough.
So your shoes are off because you're feeling the vibration.
Yeah, I'm feeling the tempo through the floor.
I wonder what Simon's gonna say.
Please be good. Please be good.
Here's the deal. You sing, I judge.
Is Simon planning to crush her dream?
I know a lot of people would pay not to hear you.
Or will he smash the golden buzzer?
I may have acted a little bit prematurely.
The only thing I wanted to do was sing.
You can't sing.
I'm sorry.
I thought I had an ear infection. It just got worse and worse. It was terrifying.
Dad, I don't hardly remember what you sound like anymore.
Performing on that stage is a second chance, and I'm so thankful.
He's crushed thousands of people's dreams.
You will never, ever, ever have a career in singing.
He owns the show. He can do whatever he wants.
This is your moment, and good luck.
Oh my goodness.
That was amazing. This is incredible.
Simon did not hold back.
Honestly, I never think I'm going to be surprised by people. I don't think you're going to need a translator for this.
And I thought to myself, is this it?
And what's your name?
Mandy Harvey,
And who's this?
my interpreter. I lost all my hearing when I was 18 years old.
You were singing before you lost your hearing?
Yeah, I've been singing since I was 4. So I left music after I lost my hearing.
This is your moment, and good luck.
Okay.
I was sitting in class and I couldn't understand my teacher talking anymore. And I thought it was because I was stubborn and I wasn't sitting close enough. So I got closer and closer and closer. and I was right in front of her face. And I still couldn't understand what she was saying. And it turned out I had lost 30 to 40 decibels of hearing in that month. Everything spun out of control. They were telling me maybe it's progressive. Came back in a couple of weeks, it dropped again. Came back in a couple of weeks, it had dropped again. Christmas is coming, and now I'm legally deaf and getting fitted for hearing aids, which is my last hope. And I'm sitting in class for theory, and the piano is playing, and I'm supposed to chart out every note. And I'm just sitting there, waiting for the test to start. And everybody else's pencils are moving. And I'm just sitting there. I'm waiting to start. And one by one, they all got up and they left. And then my teacher came over, he looked at me, he said, "This isn't gonna work. You are no longer a music major, you need to change." I left CSU destroyed. We were sitting, my dad and I, in the parking lot at CSU, and he was just talking and talking and talking, and I just stopped him. I was like, "Dad, I don't hardly remember what you sound like anymore, and I can't hear you anymore."
And the world gets silent. She stops singing. It's still very real to me.
I thought that I was going to forget every song that I'd ever heard, all of my memories. I wasn't going to ever hear my family say, "I love you." And I was sitting alone in my room trying to create sounds that I could still hear. I was clapping, just trying to make that sound come, clapping as loud as I could until I bruised the bones in my hand. And it never came. And I gave up. It felt like I fell down a really dark well, and I just kind of sat on the bottom, and I couldn't even see light above me. I just was sitting on the bottom of a well. I couldn't even look in the mirror because I was disgusted with who I saw.
Long period of desperation, depression, and she decides that she's got to learn sign language, and she was resolved to never sing again. It seemed like every day in our house we were going through a funeral.
And my dad asked a very simple request. "Will you play guitar with me? Would you learn a song and sing it?" And I thought it was stupid, but he's my dad and I respect him. I just thought this was gonna be the nail in the coffin, let it go. I never thought it was gonna work. And so I got the sheet music and a guitar tuner, and every note I hummed until that little light turned green, and I moved on to the next note, and moved on to the next note, and every time I made a mistake, I started the whole song over again. And I finally got through the song. My dad came home, and I said, "All right, let's do this." Found my first note, closed my eyes, told myself, "Who cares?" Opened my eyes at the end of the song, and my dad was crying, and he said, "You did it."
And Mandy, what are you going to sing?
I'm gonna sing a song that I wrote called "Try."
Okay, well, look, this is your moment, and good luck.
Okay.
Mandy wrote the song Try after struggling to play music again. The lyrics tell us what she realized along the way. She says, quote, "I wanted to do more with my life than just give up."
I don't feel the way I used to. The sky is gray, much more than it is blue. But I know one day I'll get through. And I'll take my place again if I would try. If I would
Mandy, I don't think you're going to need a translator for this.
She's a kind of X-Men kind of thing. She's a different type of human being.
She's amazing. She's pretty much the best singer I've ever heard, and she can't hear.
It's incredible. I mean, I've done this a long time. That was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen and heard. Come here. You.
I have found such beauty in my new life. I don't hear the wind, but I feel it on my skin. I feel the sun, and I've realized that my life doesn't need sound. You just need heart. You need to feel. You need to touch it.
She's like, yeah, this happened to me, and guess what I did? I pushed through it. Was it hard? Hell yeah. But you know what? You can do that too.
Music is very, very important to me, so thank you.
I don't sing for myself. I can't hear myself sing. The interesting part is how it affects other people and how it creates a community. You have such a limited amount of time on Earth, and it's messy and it's broken and bad things happen.
But the real truth of it is, it's part of the human experience.
And why do you wake up in the morning and struggle? Because I can, and I choose to.
Wow. Guys, if that didn't move you, I don't know what else will. But what do we get from this? What lessons do we get from this? You saw the guy that said the woman is like this X-Men, she's superhuman, right? She's special. You see, that's what men use to explain away what they don't understand. Guys, remember what I said? That my babies were special, and the baby I saw on internet Instagram is special. Remember that? Yeah, true. We are all superhumans. We are all special. Think about this. If you relegate her as, oh, she has special powers, right? Why was it she almost ended it all? She gave up, remember? She gave up. She quit. She entered into years and years of depression. That is not the attribute of a superhuman. A superhuman, if you go through that, you bounce back immediately and then boom, you take over. No, she had to, in that space and period of depression, thank God for her parents. Somehow, she began to get connected to her God DNA. Here is the final way to connect to your God DNA. When you switch from being selfish to thinking of others, then your power will come. Yeah. When you switch from thinking of yourself alone and you switch to concentrating on, remember what she said? I don't sing for myself because I can't even hear. She's now thinking of how can I impact others? How can my life benefit others? The same thing with Nick, the other video I sent. That is the power of operating in the God nature in you. That's the final straw. When you switch from thinking about yourself, you see, in this business, if you want to succeed and you want God's DNA to take over, switch from thinking about yourself. and begin to think, what if I succeed? How many lives I will impact? Think of others. Think about it. The reason you're not succeeding is because you're selfish. You think, after all, I don't have time. I bet this is not my thing. I cannot attend some meeting. I cannot. Are you seeing? That's selfishness. You will never walk in your God nature if you're thinking of yourself all the time. Never. It's not possible. But if what you're doing is geared towards others, you're always thinking, you begin to switch from thinking me, let me succeed in this, let me struggle and succeed in this business so that I can impact others. The imagination begins to open. You are calling forth your God DNA. Jesus was comfortable in heaven, but then he was meant to come on earth. The discomfort of being born and tried and hung on the cross, the discomfort, because I was thinking of others. Guys, that is it. At this point, I'm going to rush through the knowledge part. Remember, okay, tomorrow I'm going to deal with the knowledge part. We've dealt with the imagination part. Then tomorrow, God give me the strength. I'm going to deal with the knowledge part. It's very important. So get ready for tomorrow's cell meeting. And today, after today, you can never fail. It's not possible. Don't think that others are better than you. No. Those people you are thinking, you're seeing having high results, maybe unconsciously, somehow they connected to their God DNA and they're doing amazing things and you think, oh, I can't do that. No. The same way I thought that baby who could, I saw on Instagram, put pacifier in her mouth was a special baby, or the parents were intelligent to teach her how to put the thing in her mouth. The same way I thought she was special. Here my babies were, they started doing the same thing. So the special nature of that baby is not exclusive to her. It's exclusive to, it pertains to all of us who are human beings, because all human beings are created by God, and God deposited his DNA in all of us, meaning that we are all special. It's not some people, no, sir. It took me time to understand this, but now I do. I'm calling forth ridiculous things, but then there's a place of knowledge where you can now begin to build. Remember, listen, guys, listen. Remember the lady? The father said, okay, can we create songs? Then she now started learning knowledge acquisition, started learning how to now play, even though she wasn't hearing. Are you understanding? First of all, connect to your God DNA, then seek knowledge. In the area you want success, you become unstoppable. And that is why the mentorship is here. Even though some people are taking the mentorship for granted, that will end today. But whatever it is, understand, whatever you're going through, understand that people have gone through worse and they still made it. You know what they made it? Somehow they found a way to connect to their God DNA. For Nick, it was his parents. For Mandy, it was also her parents. Now, if your parents are not there to be patient with you, to help you to connect your God DNA, here I stand in their gap to push you to know that you are not ordinary. I am not ordinary. We're special. You will not run this business in despair again. You will not run this business outside your God DNA. This time around, you're going to run it in the knowledge of who you are, a God on earth, to deliver. And based on our vision as a team, to create leaders in the connected economy who are financially stable, who will in turn create other leaders who are financially stable. That mandate will come to pass. Why? Because we're going to begin to work in the operation and in the knowledge of who we are as gods. And once we begin to operate in that DNA, we can never fail. It's not possible now. It's not. We can't. So regardless of your background, who you are, where you're coming from, it is time that you begin to operate in nature Remember, you have to eliminate fear, replacing fear with faith, seeking knowledge where you are afraid of, fear goes, eliminate doubt, believe in your heart, no doubt whatsoever. Use your imagination to create the life you want, and then think of others. With this, you've completed the God DNA, and you begin to operate in that. God bless all of you, and we will win.